Welcome to Real Estate with Brenda K, the show where we talk about anything and everything real estate. Today's episode is very special for me. I'm joined by Jeff Kielbratowski, Vice President of Kiel Developments, a second-generation builder whose family has been shaping parts of Halifax since the mid-1970s. From home construction to large-scale apartment developments, and now to their newest community, Opal Ridge. Let's dive in and talk to Jeff. Jeff.
Yes.
Welcome to Real Estate with Brenda K.
Thanks for having me.
Hey. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about Kiel Developments.
So my father started Kiel Developments with my mother back in 1974. So since then, they built everything from residential homes, land development, apartment buildings as you see today, and also a lot of the original commercial strips that would be in a lot of the suburban markets.
You know, Jeff, you're my nephew, and I've watched your mom and dad over the years, and the huge business that they have built. And what always, your dad had this knack for knowing what was the big thing coming up. And I remember when he first got into condominiums, like everybody was building condominiums and development. And then he seemed to be one of the first ones that pivoted towards the rental market.
Yeah.
What did you guys see in the rental market that drew you to those large developments?
It was more opportunity than anything because he had the runway in Portland Hills. That's where it all kind of had the flip into apartments.
Yeah, because he started on condos there.
That's right. Yeah. So he started on condos, and then he got approached by a broker, and then also the guy that does his mortgages said, you should at least take a look at it because there's a difference between selling 48 condo units or just flipping a 48-unit apartment building.
Okay.
So he got to the end of one of the buildings, or at least partially through it, and we actually did have deposits on the building for condos, and then decided that, I think this is the move that we make. Let's flip it out and let one of the REITs or pension funds take it.
Wow. So when you say let one of the REITs or pension funds take it, what do you mean by that?
So there's a lot of institutional money that is managed out of mostly Toronto, and they are looking for investments in real estate that give them a certain return. A lot of it is all based off of apartment buildings.
Okay.
And they can get very good and preferable mortgages on these properties, and they have big blended portfolios across the country. And Atlantic Canada is one of those areas that they like to invest in because it's still a strong rental market. It's not saturated. And they like the quality of the asset that they get for the capital requirement. So
he would build them, and then he would, I know he's built, I don't even know how many he's built over the years, because he moved from Cole Harbour to Bedford.
Yes.
And I remember he was one of the first ones on Larry Utek when he started with were they the Gardens?
Yes.
Gardens, yeah, up there. Yeah.
So he had an opportunity when all that land came into development. He actually owned a portion of the land as well that he sold to Clayton. And he had first right on a lot of the sites. So he said, okay, what's the plan that I can run with for the next 10 years? So understanding that a building takes anywhere from, at that point, the size of the buildings, about 1.5 to 2 years to put together. He said, how many buildings can I build at once? Also, how many buildings can I kind of roll with?
Right.
And every time that a site would come up, they'd ask if he'd be interested in it. Luckily, as he went from building 1 to 2, the buyers were kind of lined up already. So there was a portfolio of buyers that did exist.
So he knew when he was building them, his intention was to sell the building.
Yes.
Okay.
And worst case scenario, he had a great asset in the end that he could keep.
Yeah.
Full building. And all those buildings mostly are still full today.
Yeah.
Very few turnovers. And they have great returns for the investors that bought them.
And do you know off the top, even just like kind of a guess, how many units that he's built now in the West Bedford area?
Easy math is probably, it's well over 1,000.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jeff.
So we'd like to have them all back, maybe.
Yeah.
But it also got him to where he is today.
Exactly, yeah. But he still does own a couple.
Exactly.
That he has. And some of them, they're nice buildings. They're really unique designs. And I know every time he builds one, they seem to be, even nicer and even larger. And what do you think, Jeff, about the apartment boom that's going on right now? Like being over the years, and doing business so many years in the city, you drive to Halifax, you look, might see a crane once in a while. Now, I mean, there was a point, I think it was a couple of years ago, there was like 25 or 30 cranes. What do you think about all the units being built? Do you think this boom is going to oversaturate the rental market?
I don't believe so. I think the big thing that is going to, say, delay the market, right now we are back to what I would call as a normal market pre-COVID.
Me too. I 100% agree with you on that.
So we're looking at 8 to 10 months to probably fill a building. Maybe sometimes you're getting lucky at 6 months. Maybe you're pushed out a year. It depends on where you are and what the product is.
To rent every unit, you mean?
Yep.
Okay. So was it different during COVID, Jeff?
During COVID, people were opening their doors and they were full.
Wow.
So if you were a new developer, you went in, built a building, no risk outside of the financial risk that you had up front, and trying to deliver a building in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
But other than that, they didn't have to carry. So 1 to 3 months, they were full.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so currently you guys have a huge project on the go called Opal Ridge. And anyone that was from Dartmouth remembers the old Penhorn Mall. And so tell us a little bit about Opal Ridge, because I know that's hundreds of units.
It ends up being over 400 units.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we do have a partner in that, which is the Shaw Group. Clayton Developments developed the land, and then they brought us in as the building partner. So we are through the first 104 unit building, and then the next 104 unit building is a sister building. That will be open late 2027 or early 2027.
Yeah.
And we've been very surprised by how many inquiries we get.
Yeah.
So our first building is actually already leased over 50%.
Okay. And they're moving in now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did do a couple things different in that market, just understanding that 400 units, it's a lot of units.
It's a lot.
To bring onto the market.
It's a lot of units, yeah.
But we looked at square footages and how we could reduce the square footages, but still optimize for the tenant, and then hopefully bring the average rent down across the building.
Yeah, because rents now, like, I have a girl on my team. Her mom was in Baker Drive for years, and she started at 14, then she was 16, then she was 18, and unfortunately, Linda lost her mom. And the rent went from $1,800 to $2,400 for the next person. She'd only been in there like 6 years, 6 years. That's a big increase.
It's huge.
Yeah. So what are your average rents over in Opal Ridge there?
We'd be 2,200 and change.
Okay. And change.
Change.
What's change?
Just a little
Jeff?
change. I can't round up on the average.
Yeah.
But this is the first building that we've done a large percentage of one bedrooms.
Oh, how come?
It was mostly just obviously trying to get the average rent down in the building, but understanding that market is very strong, but you need the right amount of units to actually do a building with that many.
The one bedrooms are really strong.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't imagine that. Is it single people renting them, young couples?
Singles, young couples. The unique thing about that site is that we're close to transit, close to grocery, close to hospitals and schools. So you still do get the single individuals who are looking for rents around $1,800 to $1,900, which is what we need as the developer to make a good rent, but also as the general tenant, that's still a good number for them, and it's feasible.
You know what I really like about that development is that you can walk out your door, you can go to New Bodies, you can go to Sobeys, Starbucks. I mean, you can go for breakfast, you can go for sushi. You don't have to leave the neighborhood. You can do everything right there.
That was part of the attraction for us was, anytime you're looking at sites that large, you have to have the amenities close to it. And Clayton Developments did a great job tying in active transportation, sidewalks, and obviously the public transit is huge for there.
Well, yeah, it's one of the bus hubs.
But it's an integrated community. Outside of having commercial within the actual development itself, it's surrounded by commercial, so we're happy.
And another really unique thing you did at this development, and I know when I first went through them, I was astounded, is you added townhouses to it that are modular.
Yes.
So tell us, when I say modular, what does modular mean?
It means construction that was assembled in a factory, and then it's usually assembled on site, but it's very limited actual physical construction. You're taking modular components and assembling them on site to create, whether that's just a shell of a structure, or in our case, we were delivering units through Prestige with kitchens, flooring, everything in them.
Yeah, I remember when I first went in and the kitchens were there, the bathrooms were there. What's so unique about using modular units as opposed to, because I know Kiel has built townhouses for many, many years, always from scratch. So what made you make the decision to do modular this time?
It was an opportunity that came to us because we are in the development. Prestige was going to be doing them anyway, whether it was with us or independent of us.
Okay.
And we looked at it and said, okay, the market's changing when it comes to, we'll say, low-rise residential or single family. This is a good chance for us to try modular, learn a little bit about it, give some feedback on where we think the improvements could be done. So we said, you know what, let's do it. That asset class actually does rent very well, and the rents are favorable from our standpoint as a developer. And we looked at it, we saw what they were doing in Woodside and West Bedford, so we were just very intrigued by how it was all coming together.
Well, when you think about it, like if you're getting something totally framed up inside, temperature's always the same, nothing changes. Or look at here, how many times do you see something that the sheathing goes on and then we have a storm for 4 or 5 days, or it rain, you know what I mean? Like all the external elements are hitting. Well, I know somebody right now, he can't finish his framing because his foundation's full of snow and ice.
It's frozen.
Yeah, he can't do a thing. He's just sitting there. Yeah, he stopped. So are these like 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom?
They're 3-bedroom total, but that was mostly just because of the site. Usually what they're doing is 2 bedrooms up and then a garage in the basement.
Okay.
But from our standpoint, based on the location, you're going to get a mix of, say, 3 individuals, couples sharing units with other people as well. And the 3-bedroom just made sense from the rentability standpoint. There is another phase that Prestige will be doing, and we'll consider whether or not we're the buyer and assembler of them. But it's a really nice asset class to have surrounding, obviously, the big apartment buildings.
They look really nice. Like they're really attractive. I have to say, some of them out there that I've seen in other areas, they look like boxes.
We put our lipstick on it.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. They do. They look really nice, and like the finishes all. Like same with the finishes in your apartments. Like you use all solid surface. Who does all your design work there, Jeff?
My wife, Ashley. She has the eye.
Yeah, she has a very good eye. She has a very good eye. Yes. So how many have you got built there now, and how many do you plan on building?
There's 18, and then I believe it's another 24.
Okay.
And if those happen, it'll either be late summer this year or early fall next year.
Okay.
But that'll depend on market and take up and stuff like that. But even since we've got the townhouses to the point of we can rent them, the inquiries have been really good.
Yeah.
So we're happy with them.
Have you got them rented out now? Are there people living in them?
We have 1, 2, 3 of the 18 are rented, and then there's another 3 applications in. So we're very happy.
They rent for how much?
$28.95 to $29 and change.
Wow. You know, we were talking there before we started the podcast there about, getting into the rental market. It's a completely new lifestyle. It's really nice. Like I'm a boomer, as your parents are, and I find a lot of the boomers, that's what they like to do. They like to sell their home. They like to put their money in the bank and go into an apartment because you lock the door and you walk away. You're not worried about insurance issues. You're not worried about the weather. You're not worried about who do you find are the major tenants in your buildings? Is it a whole mix? Do you find there's a lot of boomers?
In the apartment buildings, it's a complete blend of demographic. We have people moving from the bedroom community next door to it, which we always thought was going to be there. Those people will have to sell their homes and then move over to the apartment. Those are a lot of the early inquiries were that. But then as we moved into opening the building, it's a lot of immigration, people moving apartment to apartment, just in general interested about the site. But demographic-wise, it is all over the place. The townhomes are a lot of, say, single parents going through divorces.
Okay.
but it would be what you would think in a townhouse, right? Normally what could potentially be a buyer of a townhouse is now the renter of a townhouse.
Okay. All right. And what do you think with the way I know when the boom was going on and we had the immigration, there was a lot of people coming. Do you think that the immigration shutdown is going to affect the rentals?
I think in the short term it does, but our government went too far left. Now they're too far right.
Really?
Now they're too far right.
Yeah.
And there will be something that's a hybrid in the middle. I think that works for the country, but then also from an immigration standpoint is good too.
Yeah. And I mean, our family's here because of an immigrant.
Yes,
that
exactly.
came from Poland.
I think people forget that.
Yes, yeah. We have a lot of respect for anyone that's coming to a new country. I certainly do. I couldn't imagine doing it. Why don't you explain to us, we often hear in the news the term vacancy rate. Right. And most people don't know what vacancy rate means. What does it mean?
So it's the percentage of total units that are empty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the city? In
the city, yeah.
Okay. So you have this many vacant units available. And you have this many people looking, or?
No, vacancy rate is, let's say you have 104 units and 100 of them are leased. Those 4 units create the percentage of the vacancy rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you concerned, Jeff, with all the buildings that are going up around Halifax right now?
I think I'd be dumb to say not concerned, but understanding that the market still has so much growth ahead of it. When we look at the next 10 years, we're not looking at tomorrow.
Right.
And
you're a 10-year plan.
We're a 10-year plan, a 5 and a 10.
Yeah.
So we need to deliver units. And as long as the uptake is there from the tenants, then we would keep building. There's a lot of, say, micro reasons why you would maybe change your mind on a project. But the macro stuff, I think, is not really too much in our market. When we look at Toronto, Vancouver, stuff like that, they're in a huge drought.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Brutal.
We're not seeing that as much. The only thing that we have seen in the local market is the suburban market, or sorry, the urban market. A lot of units came on all at once.
Yes.
And when you take out international students, you take out immigration, that's a huge portion of the tenant base that would normally gobble those units up.
Exactly.
So a lot of those developers aren't very happy.
Yeah.
But they also have the financial capacity to weather it.
Yeah.
And they will come out on the other side with units that are rented and full buildings.
Yeah.
But going back to the 8 to 10 month lease up is what you have to plan until it sways the other way. That sounds
so long, 8 to 10 months. But you actually start to, so Nicole looks after your leasing, your sister.
Correct.
And she starts putting the ads out long before the building's finished, doesn't she?
Yes.
To try and get them in.
Yeah, she'd probably be 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
So a lot of pre-leasing tries to happen, and we try and do as much pre-leasing as possible, obviously having somewhat of a flexible completion date. But it's one of those things where if you could open your door and the building was full, I don't think that's a real market.
No, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
So if we can somehow get back to building buildings, which people need to also realize that it's anywhere between 2 to 4 years to build these projects.
2 to 4 years for the whole, from start to finish? I was thinking 2 years start to finish on a building.
On a building.
On a building, okay.
Yeah.
So the Opal Ridge project, Jeff, how many years do you think that will go on? Because you've got over 400 units.
If market is strong, it's a 5-year project.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's mostly just because we build a lot quicker than most, just because we have a great relationship with long-term trades, and we know how to do this.
Well, it's so funny you said that, because, like you said, your father's been around since 1974. You've been in this business almost 20 years. You're right. You're the continuity of your trades that you use. As a matter of fact, my husband was one of them just recently.
Yes.
They know. They have been working with Kiel Development. Like, some of them are at 40 plus years.
Yes.
And that's the thing. The quality you're getting, because that was one of the things I wanted to bring up. Years ago, when my son Nick, came back from out west, he went into a building that his girlfriend was living in. So he moved in on Larry UTEC.
Yeah.
He actually had to move out of that building he went and got a medical excuse. You could hear everything. You could, like anything anybody was cooking, you could, like, who builds the building that you rent in, that really matters.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
And there's half a dozen to 10 developers in the city who have great reputations. They've been building for 20 plus years, and they build quality, and they're everlasting assets.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to look at that and say, what does the tenant want? But I still need to deliver the best possible project, because in the end of it, it's just like a house.
Exactly.
If your roof goes, if your whatever goes,
That's right.
you need to put quality in, because garbage in is garbage out.
Well, exactly. Yeah. No, he couldn't even, like I said, he couldn't even live in the bid. He couldn't even live in the building. Like it was that bad. So with you guys have buildings, so many of them, are there any things that really stand out that you tend to learn still on new buildings, or have you got things figured out now?
We learn on every building.
Okay.
But I would say that the biggest thing for us when we look at the project is we don't delay decisions.
Okay.
Where we're hands-on on the project, it allows us to get a question from a trade, get it answered, move on same day most of the time.
And you're on site all the time, because I see you there. And just so everyone gets a feel like who your dad is, he's an amazing businessman over the years. But, you know, it's so funny because I went there not too long ago, and you're on site running things, and he's in the basement picking up garbage and boxes and cleaning up. Like, I mean, it is hands-on. You guys know your stuff, what you're doing there on site now.
Yeah, and he got to the end of the project, and he pretty much does it at the end of every project.
Yeah, cleans the basement.
When there's a month left,
he
says, we have to get all of this stuff out of here.
Yeah.
Because we have to go for occupancy.
Yeah.
And there's other people to do it, obviously, but he takes a passion for it, and he just wants to see everyone, and all the trades start tiptoeing around. Saying, oh,
Victor's
no,
on site.
Victor's in the basement.
We gotta be good. We gotta be good. So, Jeff, when you, I remember I was talking to Nicole one time, and she was saying what a lot of buildings do. You guys used to always include parking in your buildings. There's a lot of buildings out there now where you have to pay for parking on top of paying rent. How does that work with you guys?
We originally planned on having people pay for parking and storage, but that was when the market was driving.
Right.
And that's mostly on the financial model side. That's not something where we're thinking about, oh, we need to include parking, we need to include storage, or vice versa. It's more so if you're looking at whether it's flipping a building or operating the asset, as you're going through the financial model, if you're adding the line item of parking and storage, that's additional revenue for the project.
Right.
If you're including it, you don't have the opportunity for that.
Right.
So we do have some of our existing buildings where some of the tenants pay for parking. Some of them have been included on the legacy units.
Okay.
And at Opal Ridge, we decided to include parking and storage just because the market is tight and it just makes sense to do it. The only thing we did do was flip the utilities out to the tenants, which is something that some of our buildings, we couldn't do that because of water just coming in on a single meter. We actually did what's called sub-metering on these buildings, which allows the tenant to independently control their water consumption and power consumption.
Oh, really? Yeah. I know power's always been, because obviously you're not going to pay the electric bill for everyone in the building. So they have their own water lines now too.
They have their own water meter.
Their own water meter.
Yeah. So in the bigger markets, sub-metering is huge, and it's just trickled its way here over the last few years. But it is for allowing the asset to operate better. Right. If we have to pay a $60,000 water bill in the end of the year because of a tenant or tenant's consumption, it makes more sense for the developer to return that back as a line item instead of having to chew that up.
Right. And then you can keep the rents down.
Exactly.
At different. What are some of the amenities in your buildings?
This one we did a gym, common room, and we actually did a co-op workspace.
Okay, tell us about that.
So we looked at the demographic of tenant who may live in a one bedroom, or maybe they work from home, and just giving them another option in the building to go work somewhere else. So we put a couple office spaces within a common space.
Oh, that's nice.
And the tenant can go in and use it at their own leisure.
Yeah.
But it's accessible for the tenants.
Yeah, because when you're working from home, I know myself because I had the big house and the big office, and now I'm in the little rental, which I assume won't be.
Yes.
Yeah. it is nice to have another space that you can go to and do your work. So is there anything new in the works? I definitely will have you back next year on the podcast. Is there anything new in the works you want to share with us that Kiel might be doing?
We're hopefully starting a building out in Brunello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
You already have one out there, don't you, on the golf course?
We do, yes.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, we have another site just in behind the Sobeys. We're just chasing Sobeys around the
Okay,
city.
that's a good one.
So anytime that they have a site behind them, we're obviously very interested. But Brunello, that building the nines has operated very well.
That's gorgeous.
And the
Oh my
market
God,
is
that's
great.
gorgeous.
So we're evaluating right now if we're going to start that in the spring of this year.
Yeah, and you get some other things, Dartmouth around, or you're going to stick to the Brunello side?
We should know very soon on 620 Portland, which is the old Steak and Stein site.
There's so much gossip about that building, Jeff.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my God, I've heard everything's going in there, from offices, Eastside Mario's, apartments, you name it, it's going. So,
but we ended up in a unique situation on that site just because of the future rapid transit that will likely end up Portland Street. So as the city plans out how they're going to do transit, that's one of the areas that they look to light up as a corridor.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I think, like I said, we have never, myself, being older, having this city, we've never seen a boom like this before. A lot of us don't understand it. I want to thank you so much for being here. And I want to let people know that they can go, what is your website, Jeff, that they can go to? Kieldev.ca?
Kieldev.com.
Deal. Okay. DEV.com. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to run your contact at the bottom of the screen here. And next year when you come back, we'll see how much more is on Opal Ridge.
Yeah, hopefully on building 3.
Okay. All right. Cheers. So Halifax is growing, evolving, and changing, and developments like Opal Ridge are part of that story. Understanding vacancy rents, rental demand, who's moving into these buildings, and what's driving apartment construction helps us all see the bigger picture of where the Halifax market is heading. We are so thankful for Jeff that he came here today and shared his insight from his family's decades of experience with us today. And to everyone listening, thank you again so much for tuning into Real Estate with Brenda K. Whether you're renting, investing, or simply watching Halifax grow, remember, if you're thinking real estate in Halifax, think Brenda K. Cheers.